So my name is Chris Cheetham-West, and I'll be sharing useful tips on how to use AI for your business. And overall, we're going to talk about many areas to focus on, many areas to grow, and I look forward to sharing some useful tips. So by the end of this presentation, you're going to learn exactly what to do when it comes to AI, your business, as far as customer experience, marketing, search, and overall being prepared for the future. So my background is I started off work at Google early on in my career, was part of the people that would go around the country educating small business owners and large organizations on how to use Google tools for growth. Analytics, AdWords, even Google Hangouts. Anybody remember Google Hangouts, right? So I was one of the people. And one thing I noticed is a lot of the people would understand and know about the tools, but they would just be scratching the surface with the tools. They wouldn't go into detail and understand to the point where they can get a intermediate level of understanding of how to use it for their business. So that's one thing I want to share today is just because you're using AI at a beginner level doesn't mean you can't become intermediate or advanced. All you got to do is take time, maybe 5 minutes a day, to go after your goals and reach the new level that you want to get to by just experience what's new in those tools you're using. So for some reason, whenever I post a picture on Facebook, I get about 20 likes, not that much, right? I post a picture of my wife and my kids, it gets hundreds of likes. I don't get it. So I don't know what it is. So all right. And we live in Houston, Texas, so we've been here for a couple of days exploring the city, so it's been great. So some of the objectives: discover AI tools like ChatGPT, Google, Gemini. We all use it, but how to use it for their business specifically. Also, how to improve customer experience, marketing, and the sales approach that you are using. So, what does it mean for your business? And what is AI in general? So in general, we know that AI has been used for years, and we know that it's consistently learning. And we have to understand that yes, AI is learning from us, but we have to learn from AI as well. And it's constantly learning how we do our business and how we run our business as well. So one question: how often do you use AI? How often do you use the AI? You want to say? Daily, weekly, hourly? Back there? Daily? Okay. Okay. Hourly? Okay. Hourly. Okay, wow. So whenever we do some studies with some employees of different companies, we find that for the most part, people are using it, but sometimes they're scared to use it within their company because they don't know if their manager approves of their use as well. So it's good that you're here today just coming to educate yourself on how to use it and how to have your team use it as well. So how would you describe your skill level? Would you say beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Anybody? Beginner? What made you say beginner? What made you say beginner?
Just starting.
Okay. Just started, okay. Anybody else? Beginner? Intermediate, anybody? Intermediate. What do you make you say intermediate? For the most part, many people say, well, they're just starting out, they're just using the tools at basic level. So again, whenever you go into these tools, try to see what's new with these tools. What are the new features that have been released? And often we think that AI might not be capable of doing something we're thinking about, but I would encourage you to try out what you don't think is possible. And you'll be surprised at what you get. It might not be able to get it to the point where it's 100% accurate, but probably 6 months to a year down the line, it's probably gonna be a little bit more accurate because it's constantly getting better. So everyday impact. So before ChatGPT, how do you think AI was used in our day-to-day lives? Any ideas? How is the AI used in our day-to-day lives?
Caption.
Okay, yeah, okay, caption, yep. Okay. We have text messages, we have facial recognition, YouTube, social media, right? So even sometimes you can use AI when you don't even realize it. I was on the plane and I usually use a tool to upload my videos, and this tool will create captions and B-roll for me automatically. And it wasn't working while I was on the plane, and it only started working when I landed. So that's when I realized it was using AI. So you never know when you're using AI sometimes as well. So an undervalued portion when it comes to AI is the fact that it can predict and give you real-time information. Because everybody thinks about, well, AI means that you're going to save more time, be efficient. But in reality, we got to think about if we are wanting to invest in AI, what do we want to predict in our business? So maybe this is predicting how much we're going to sell the next month. Maybe it's predicting turnover from our employees. Maybe it's just predicting where the future's headed in our industry. But whenever we think about what to invest in, we got to think about what do we want to predict and what tools are out there to predict these areas. In real-time information, what can AI tell us about what we're seeing at the moment? If somebody's on their website purchasing a product and they're in a different city and they're exhibiting certain behaviors, what can that tell us about the past and what can that tell us about the future? And there's current tools around there that help us do this. In another area, study has shown that a lot of companies are missing the mark when it comes to investing in AI because they're just throwing money anywhere. If the tool says AI, they're going to throw money at it, right? So first off, you got to think about what is your process? Is your process, is your sales process good? Is it your process for the customers when they go to your site, when they purchase a product? What is their process? What is your process as far as marketing, business development? Once you write down your process, then you're able to figure out what are we going to do as a team and what are we going to delegate to AI. So you have to know your process first to see what's useful. So why when it comes to e-commerce? It's because you want to be able to save time, make more money, and be more efficient. And let's look at some of the tools that people are using right now. So what tools do you use right now when it comes to AI? You want to say? What tools do you use? ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT. Claude, Perplexity, okay. Gemini, Sora, okay, got it. Chatbot, okay, all right. So a lot of different people. So whenever we do these studies with companies, most people, they're using ChatGPT, which is great, but at the same time, you want to make sure you are exploring other options as well. For multiple reasons. One is because you want to make sure you're getting a variety of information, and two, other AI tools offer other abilities and capabilities and features. So we got the ChatGPT, it's really good when it comes to integrating other tools. Copilot's really good when it comes to email. We got Gemini, that's good with showing you exactly where they got the information from. And Claude is really good for long form content. And Perplexity is good when it comes to citing sources. So if you're looking to see, you're trying to write a paper, trying to write a long form paper, and you're looking to research, Perplexity will give you exactly where they found that information. That's important for your business because Perplexity, it not only cites the sources, but it gives the searcher ideas on where they got the information from. So they're going to show YouTube channels, they're going to show press releases, they're going to show social media pages. It's not just going to be your website. So that's why having a good overall presence is important, because Perplexity is going to pick up on your brand. It's not just going to be they're promoting your website. They want to show the user that they're relevant in other areas. And one area you want to focus on when it comes to choosing the tools is think about what are you currently using right now. If you're using Google, Gemini will be a good option because it's automatically integrated. If you're using Microsoft, Copilot's a good example because everything's integrated as well. So the tools that you're using, think to yourself, do they have an AI component? If you're using Miva, do they have an AI component? I'm sure that based on what I've heard from the conference, there's a lot of AI components. And even when it comes to Gemini, look at this. If I were to upload my Google Documents to Gemini, it can summarize everything for me because, again, it's integrated as well. So I'm not using multiple tools. Even when it comes to Google Docs, you don't have to go to Google and try to figure out what the formula to do is. Now you can literally just type in what you want to happen and it makes the graph for you, whatever you're trying to look for. You don't have to figure out formulas anymore. So customer communication and operations, let's take a look. So I'm part of this program called Goldman Sachs Small Business Program, and every week we are talking with colleagues and we are in an event where people come and speak to us about sales and marketing. And every week they will give us a case study to work on. And on this case study, we would have to figure out how can we provide a solution for this specific problem within our groups. And for some reason, every time a person in a different group would figure out the answer within 10 seconds, sometimes 30 seconds. And we were wondering why. And it turns out she just took a picture, of the case study, and then from there she was able to get the answers. So from that time on, I realized that there's so much more to just using AI for the chat function. How about using it to better communicate with our colleagues and our customers? So for example, alternative words for impact. Instead of good quality, maybe you can use the word premium quality. Instead of cheap, maybe you can use the word affordable. When somebody says you must do something, what comes to mind? Force, right? Ultimatum, all right, you have to do it. So why not use a different word, such as maybe unnecessary? Popular, you could say best-selling. Helps with, instead of helps with, you could say proven to improve. Now, years ago, if we wanted to figure this out, we would go to Google and we would say, I want a list of power words or power words that can help my product sell online better. You'll get a PDF with 100 words, and that's it. But now, of course, with AI, we don't have to do that. We can go to these AI tools and figure out how can we make our words a little bit more powerful. And not only that, it's not just going to give you a list of words, it's going to give you why you should use these words. So again, we are learning from AI, just like AI is learning from us. So choosing to use the words 25,000 customers purchased versus just customers love this. So when it comes to AI, think about using your voice more often. In America, there's not that, we don't use the voice option that much, but there's more options. And when I say voice, there's different ways to see that. So for example, here's some prompts. Feel free to take pictures if you want. But when it comes to prompting, this can be for you and your team, or this can be for chatbots that you're training on how to talk to your customers online. So write a short product promotion message for an e-commerce best-selling premium travel backpacks. Include, what we have is one credibility marketer, one curiosity hook, and one clear call to action. So one thing I want you to take away from today is, instead of doing 20 prompts, figure out how you can do, instead of 20 prompts, how can you make that into 3 prompts? Instead of doing this over and over again, right? So we got the credibility hook and we got the CTA as well. So write a 20-second voice message for an e-commerce brand notifying a customer about a shipping date. Include urgency, clarity, and one clear next step. All right, so again, gives you an update as well. So instead of 5 prompts, you are giving 1 prompt. Now, role play is important because whether you are trying to get good at communicating with your customers when it comes to customer service, or you're training a system to be good at your customers when it comes to them buying your products, you can use the voice option as a role play. So act as a frustrated customer requesting a refund in a product that arrived damaged. I'll respond as a support agent afterward, evaluate my response. So you're literally using the voice option on these tools that can help you to role play to be a better communicator or create a better role play for your team members as well. Anybody get too many emails? Too many emails? Sorry. So I remember there was a team member that I had, not a team member, but like a coworker. He read a book over the weekend, and he said in this book, the author said he's only checking emails on Saturdays. So he came to the company and said, hey guys, I'm only checking emails on Fridays. If you need something urgent, give me a call or send me a text. So what do you think happened to him? Got 10 call lists. We don't know what happened to him, but he ended up changing that pretty much in 24 hours because the author of the book is retired. He could just check emails, whatever, right? So we have to check emails, but we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. But use AI to help with those email concerns, right? So anybody ever read an email, it's 4 paragraphs long, and at the end of the email, you still don't know what's going on? Pretty much, right? So again, utilize AI to help us with that as well. So summarize this, think about clear next steps, make it easy and logical. So in what areas of your work do you see AI being most useful? Anybody want to say? Where do you see AI being most useful in your e-commerce business? Writing what? Oh yeah, product descriptions, okay, product descriptions. Responses to who? Yeah, emails, customers. Yep. Anybody else? Where do you think is going to be most useful in your business? So we got product descriptions, we got email responses, customer service. So many different words. What about documents? Another underutilized area is using AI for documents. So when I say documents, I mean there's numerous ways to use it. For example, we have this document right here. It's an instruction manual. So people buy your products online. They're going to say, okay, well, I need a manual on how to create this, how to fix this. And so you have your manual, but look at this. What if your manual has changed over the past years? What if there's things that are not relevant anymore because you have updated versions of your product? So use AI to find out what are those areas. So I presented to a group of technical trainers not too long ago, and they said that they literally have to go page by page from 100-page documents to see what has changed over the past 3 years when they update their products. So that takes hours and hours and weeks, right? So instead of doing all that, use AI to help with that situation. So here I have 3 different PDFs, 3 different manuals, and I want to compare these docs, or I want to combine these documents. Or I want to extract specific areas of these documents, or I want to say, hey, compare this document to what's happening in the industry and see what I need to change from this document. And I use Claude. Anybody use Claude here? Couple people, okay, Claude is again, remember long form. So I said I want to combine my instruction manuals for e-commerce products, extract the content that is relevant and updated for my 2026 features and changes. And remember, these tools already know more about your business. They already know what your products are. They already know what you're trying to sell. They already know what your market is. So you don't have to put a paragraph in there. And guess what? Look, it automatically asks you, hey, which products are you combining into this manual? I didn't have to prompt any of that. And then I choose which sections would you like to combine from these documents. Super easy, document created, I would say 5 minutes. So these tools, you gotta remember, it's more than just, hey, make this email sound better. It's so much more to these tools. So integration, you got role playing, you got educating yourself, guided learning, and you have agents. So product research and trend monitoring, customer service automation, competitive intelligence. So based on what I saw with Miva, they have a lot of this going on as well. So then, you're already using Miva right now, most likely there's a lot of AI components that you can tap into instead of going to a whole bunch of other tools. Now, I had a presentation that's pretty much, I would say 2022, and I said to myself, you know what, let me go use AI to figure out how can I update my presentation. And I said, this Falcon takes my presentation, please let me know what techniques are outdated. So what it did was, it went across the web and it figured out what are the areas and statistics that I need to change in order to make my website and my content a little bit more relevant. Instead of me going through one by one, slide by slide, going to Google, figuring out if a statistic is up to date, I just have AI do all that for me. But how does that look for your e-commerce business? If you were to go to Google right now and you see news articles about your business or your industry, the wise idea would be to figure out how can that news article apply to my business, and what does that mean for my industry? So let's take a look at the state of fashion 2026, when the rules change. Or on the top right, you see Best Buy had a news article, Walmart has a news article about expanding their e-commerce businesses as well. But what does that mean for my business? Is that gonna mean my business is gonna grow, or does that mean my business might start struggling in the next 6 months? So what you could do is go to agent mode and some of these tools and say something like, based on the trends mentioned in this article, economic pressure, consumer spending benefits, predict what type of fashion products may increase in the demand in the next 12 months. Consider affordability, then generate 5 products ideas an e-commerce brand could launch. And then what I did was went across the web, researched articles, not only that article, but articles that are similar, and then that can help your business and it gives you ideas. So afterwards, I'll say it took about 5 minutes, and it gave us a list on what we can do as far as product demand and specific products that might be useful and available and trending as well. So custom GPTs, remember, sometimes I talk to many type of brands and they say, well, I'm not gonna use AI because these tools aren't for my industry. And you don't wanna do that. You wanna figure out what tools are out there and customize these tools for your needs. So customer service GPT only helps you with customer service. Marketing campaigns GPT only helps you with marketing. Instead of just using the general tool, how can you customize it? So this tool right here, trend research, it'll product trend research, and I log in, I go to my custom GPT, and then it's focused only on those ideas. So train your AI to help you with the needs that you have the most. And remember, when it comes to this content, it's not just about saving money. If you were to help your employees have a better job, an easier job, a less stressful job, that helps with retention. It's not just about saving money, but how can you help the entire company with morale and better productivity? Anybody go to too many meetings? Everybody's raising their hand, right? So some of the meetings that we do, it doesn't work because we are not creating agendas. So again, another area that AI can help. You have a whole bunch of random notes that you have in the meeting, then you tell AI summarize these, and then what I usually do is I say create an image that I can send to my team about these meetings that we just discussed. So you have that version, and then you have the version of, well, we're just going to use a tool like this to help us with organize a meeting. We have somebody log in, have an agent log in, and then they're gonna record. Now, when it comes to business, you have your lifestyle business, right? You get to the point where we can just pay our bills, or you have your business where you're constantly trying to grow. How many people are trying to grow their business? All right, 2 people, 3 people, 1 person, yeah. All right, cool, we can go home right now, yeah. So complacency, right? So another area is how can we use AI to help us with our goals? So think about, well, what can we do? Go to AI and say, hey, our revenue is this past year. This is where we're trying to reach. This is what we're currently doing to grow our business. This is what we're struggling with. How about we make some how about we make some goals to figure out what can we do on a weekly basis in order to grow our business to the next level? You'll be surprised at the insights you might get when it comes to these type of products, because not everybody can afford a business advisor, but you still want to help you make yourself have goals. So now that we talked about the content, we talked about the words to use, the different ways, let's talk about AI for search. Anybody get their business from search? All right, 1, 2, 2 people, 3 people?